What's the grossest thing you've ever had in your mouth? While I was fishing lobster with my uncle and grandfather, a seagull shit above me, and it landed in my mouth. Used to be an autopsy tech. One day I got decomposed person juice in my mouth. Another day at a different job, it happened again. So 2 different rotting people's fluids. 15 years old. I grew up on a cattle farm in Devon, southwest England, and it was calving season. Multiple large animals needing help with squeezing a mini-me's out pretty much 24/7. One cow was lying on her side having some serious problems with her calf. It had gotten twisted in the womb and was coming out at an odd angle. I had to do, according to my dad, the manly thing and shove my hand up there to help along. It was fine, I'd done it before, but nothing prepared me for what was coming. Entire arm up in some substance I'll never be able to describe the feeling of. It was getting problematic and the calf felt seriously stuck. I was worried it was dead, so I put my head by the cow's vagina to see if I could see it moving at all, when all of a sudden the whole thing came slurping, best word I can think of, out straight into my face. A mix of slime, blood and afterbirth made its way into my mouth. I can't describe the taste, though, never again. I remember my dad laughing his ass off when I used the wrong arm to wipe my face after I'd stood up. The calf and cow survived though, so it was worth it, though I'm an audio engineer now. When I was a kid, one of my friends put a small toad in my sandwich. I crunched down and spit out a half-chewed but still alive toad. We are no longer friends. A poo finger, my son, about 2 years old at the time, why will forever remain a mystery. He just fucking toddled on up to me while I wasn't paying attention and just shoved his finger in my mouth. Not me, but my girlfriend at the time. I had just got back from spring break loaded with free swag, including trial condoms, and we hadn't seen each other for a week. So we're going at it, pretty hot and heavy, and I reach for a condom in the goodie bag. After about an hour, she wanted me to finish, so I took the condom off so she could orally finish the job. About 2 minutes in, she stopped and said, "I can't feel my tongue," which translates to "I can't feel my tongue." I laughed as I realized that I had grabbed a long-lasting condom and the numbing gel was still on my dick. I had a good laugh. She was mad. Still finished. So I was about 11 years old at the time. I was kissing a girl, but it felt really strange on the inside of my mouth, like a tickling sensation. It got more and more intense the longer it went on. That's when I woke up from the dream. I was having to spit out a full-size cockroach that had climbed its way inside my mouth during my sleep. I stared at it in horror and then viciously beat it to death for destroying the life and innocence that I once knew. To this day, I'm absolutely disgusted by roaches, and I feel like my reason is much more validated than most people who just hate bugs. Andouillette. In the birthplace of fine cooking, Lyon, France. This sausage is basically a pig's asshole stuffed with another pig's asshole. I may have to rethink my "I'll try anything once" philosophy. Using a throwaway because this shit is awful. I was a horny teenager once and I was masturbating as horny teens like to do. Except this time I was lying in my bed at night. I didn't want to get up and go to the bathroom to get rid of my cum because my parents were sleeping and I didn't want to wake them up at fuck o'clock in the morning. Their rooms were right next to mine, and if they heard the toilet flush, I would be found out. I sploded and got it all in my hand, and I considered my options. I decided the best course of action was to just eat it up. I swallowed my pride and my seed and put that disgusting man juice in my mouth. I ate it all, and it was fucking awful. Some got stuck in my braces, and I had to get it off with a pen, my phone flashlight, and a tiny mirror. I don't masturbate in bed anymore, it's never worth it. Our local Thai restaurant has a Thai hot challenge in which they serve a super spicy dish that you have to finish in 30 minutes to win a prize. I had gone to visit some friends who participated in this challenge. They all had glasses of milk ready for the challenge to offset the spice. I am a very unobservant person. I had failed to notice my friend hack a loogie into his milk after coughing incessantly from the dish. At this point, I was feeling a little parched. There was a delightful glass of milk on the table where my friends were sitting. I picked the glass up and took a swig. I instantly felt this mucoid, semi-solid sensation swishing around in my mouth. It was only the horrified look on my friend's face that alerted me that some shit ain't right. Dude, you just drank my phlegm, proceed to vomit. This is absolutely disgusting, but here it goes. I was in a very dark time in my life, and my wife had just left me. I became depressed fairly quickly and would spend my hours after work laying in bed with my laptop playing World of Warcraft. I developed really poor house cleaning habits, such as leaving empty soda cans all over my nightstand. I also began smoking in my house, which led to me using these soda cans as ashtrays. One night, in the middle of a raid, I unfortunately mistook my ashtray can as the can that I was actually drinking, got a mouthful of week-old Dr. Pepper, deteriorated cigarettes, and ash. Immediately vomited all over myself and bed, and thus I knew it was time to get my life straight. For people asking the important questions, I did not finish the raid. My guild mates were totally cool with me ditching after explaining what had just transpired. I seriously quit WoW that day and haven't been back. Happiest and most free I felt in a long time. 2 nights ago I went to brush my teeth and didn't have my glasses on, was drunk. There was a nightmare bug on the toothbrush when I put it in my mouth. Smashed it up good and spit out twitching legs while throwing up beer bile into the sink. Gave my ex a BJ in high school. Instead of coming, he pissed in my mouth. A pig's eyeball. We had a hog roast at work, and the chef convinced me it was a delicacy, surprisingly tasty if a little salty. When I lived in Seoul, I tried Sanaki live octopus. The octopus is cut up into relatively small pieces, which is drizzled with sesame oil. Eating it was not the worst thing, though one piece did attach itself to the back of my throat. No, the worst thing was about 15 minutes after eating it, feeling something wiggling between my teeth. Evidently a piece got caught between my teeth and was attempting to wiggle its way to freedom. That is when I gagged. Another person's vomit. We were sitting across from each other. I was checking on him because he just drank enough liquor for 2 people. He suddenly stood up and as he rose began to projectile vomit, half of which hit my face and chest. The warmth and taste of another person's vomit is not something I'd wish on my worst enemy. I sprinted to the bathroom and vomited myself. In college, I grabbed a beer can off the coffee table and took a quick swig, that total turn-up where you're killing the last bit. Accidentally grabbed my roommate's, onto which he'd spit a lob of phlegm, which I immediately spat out, but it clung to my lips as I ran to the bathroom. Cold loogie, someone else's, holy shit, was traumatic. This isn't gross but weird. My girlfriend and I at the time were having sex. She was on top and got a bloody nose. She bled right into my mouth and a drop into my eyeball. Ha ha ha. We laughed and I finished. Cat diarrhea. One of them pooped on the bed, and I thought it was chocolate pudding, so I went to taste it. Stuck my finger right in and licked it. I remember running up to my brother and saying the chocolate pudding must have gone bad. We were like 4 or 5 years old, I think. He looked at it and told me what it was. And that's how I learned not to put shit in my mouth. Bloody, clotted, continuous bladder irrigation fluid that had just came out of my co-worker's patient's vagina. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Tell me in the comments what's the grossest thing you've ever tasted. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out new super interesting videos, and I also suggest you to watch our other videos.